Time Squeak, stand up. You got a guy out here sacrificing it all for his team. Love watching this.
Snaps a 9-0 Kentucky run. Those free throws by Wade. Looking inside Washington. And a foul. And one.
Waste the possession by McGurl. Going to the hole, trying to shoot over those trees inside. Be there for him to have his back in case he misses. So difficult. You can't even see over these big fellas inside.
Green working the two-man game of Washington. Oh! Two-handed throwdown. Turnovers than field goals made. More points off free throws than field goals made as well from that first half. Only trailed for 1:21 in the first two games. They let trail most of the first half, but with the rebound. 7-point game. Kentucky trailing. Gilgeous Alexander gives it up. Diallo's been quiet. He's been in foul trouble. He's got company in foul trouble. Both teams. Washington draws the double, gets out of it, and scores with the left hand.
With a wide open shot.
Washington plowing his way in. No foul call. No foul called. And count this one.
Saw some of the fans upset about that, but when you have sides like Kentucky, that's what you do. That's your three.
Trying to keep the hammer down now. 6.5 remaining in regulation. Trip to the Sweet 16 is on the line. We're in the South region here. He headed to Atlanta. Here's Washington. He's fouled. Count it.
And continue for the easy wide open layup.
Kind of felt like there was a timeout coming or something. Everybody just stopped playing defensively for Kentucky. Gilgeous Alexander. Oh, what a catch. 16 points for Gabriel. His third three. Clark. No. And the rebound. Who else? Diallo flying high. And we're starting to feel it in Big Blue Nation right now.
Can't learn composure until you're in pressure situations. And right now, Kentucky gaining experience and maturity. These last 2 minutes, having fought through some tough play by guards.
On the take goes Knox. Leaves it right for Washington. Davidson beating Rhode Island, one of the three teams from the Atlantic 10 to make the tournament. Their best scorer just misses there, Peyton Aldridge. He's averaging over 21 points a game. Washington again from the baseline. A little adrenaline pouring through. Aldridge, no, and there is the rebound from Richards.
Kentucky doing a great job of getting the ball in the middle of the paint in the zone, letting the big guy facilitate or take it himself.
Oh, Washington off to a great start on his way to the basket. Goodmanson comes up short.
Talk about finding and defining the roles for Kentucky. Coach Calipari said, as up until, see right there, but nice.
Virginia, Cincinnati, Creighton, all formidable teams to start this tournament. Trying to make their way to Atlanta. Garrity comes up empty.
Wow, so impressed with Kentucky's defense. More importantly, them communicating to each other.
P.J. Washington again, this time finishes with approaching the 4-minute mark, remaining in his first half. Inside, Washington throws it down.
The ball might have got away with a little bump right there. He's a star. He's supposed to get that quote. He'll get that next year in the NBA.
Yeah, he will. His stock has risen as the first basket assured.
I tell you, we get a lot of McDonald's All-Americans.
Teddy, no good.
Teddy's got to score. He's got to help that. He's got to find making shots, not thinking. I think he thinks too much right now. That little slump he's been on a little.
Oh, big time dunk there for them.
Let's make it very clear. We think they're going. It looks like they should be going. But
I feel pretty
based
good
on
about
all the different bracketologists out there, but never knows. One never knows. RPI ranking is very high at 35. Leonardo's got a number 9 seed. Quality wins be a good Rhode Island team. Auburn twice.
They make it 31 tomorrow. That's going to be the effort for Kentucky. And the SEC tournament title game will be on at 1 o'clock Eastern time.
I'll tell you two teams they think out of the SEC can really cause problems in the tournament. Two teams coming up next, Tennessee and Arkansas.
Step one is believing, Tess. He's 0 for 3 early on here. See, not the strength of Juwan Parker's game. Those are the kind of shots you'll like him to take if you're Kentucky.
Good effort that time from P.J. Washington.
It's to Yante Maten. They're making things difficult. So what does that mean? That means he has to become a facilitator, and others have to step up and knock down shots.
Good look. Good job getting free. Good finish, P.J. Washington.
To throw it back to Maten for the top of the key three.
Gilgeous-Alexander. He couldn't get it. And tapped out to Knox.
Under a second differential between the shot clock and game clock.
Washington strong up to the glass.
Coach Fox trying to figure things out here in this second half against the talented young Kentucky team. Quade was looking for that baseline of Knox. Knox gets it to
Washington, who goes up with the right hand through the lane. Three on two now. Gilgeous-Alexander. Quade, nice speed, and the finish. P.J. Wash.
A couple of seats like that.
Scott Trade Center has been a good venue here for this SEC tournament. A big crowd here to see Big Blue Nation in Kentucky.
Figure out a way to knock down their perimeter shot or score inside that zone. I mean, it has been really difficult in the last 8 games against Duke's defense. Fewer possessions, but better overall defense by the Blue Devils since they've gone to that zone. Holding opponents under 60 points per game, under 38% field goal percentage. That is amongst the best in the nation over that stretch. We talk about Virginia's defense. Add that with an offense that has got a ton of firepower, especially Marvin Bagley.
Washington, easy score there. Marvin Bagley, who had
from a slow game on Saturday. A little bit of sleep at the wheel, maybe overconfident, as Laura was talking about earlier in the game, but not tonight. Today they came out with purpose tests, and they executed brilliantly.
Kind of a Rupp-esque feel to Scott Trade.
Florida, pull-up pop. Gilgeous-Alexander comes up short. Flying in, Washington, and he gets the roll on the interior.
40% on the season, and if you tuck behind the screen or give him a split second, he's going to go for it and let it rip.
Florida opens up 4 of 7 from the field. They've got a 12-9 lead on Kentucky. Washington, a lot of strength on the inside, finishes off the window.
You know what we haven't seen with this long team for Kentucky? We haven't seen any lobs and dunks, really. You know, that's usually one of the things in their offense that they go for.
They've had 2 attempts. Getting inside, Washington counted and a foul.
Work just then by Gabriel.
The winning streak has come against Alabama, Arkansas, Missouri, and Ole Miss. But Kentucky is 5-7 in road and neutral site games this season. Bounce it inside. Washington gets a touch against Kulichov. Washington turns. That thing was halfway down.
Just then in terms of finishing that off in the middle of the floor.
78-63. Sealing the area, and Washington rocks the rim.
Steve Grody.
You know who threw the pass to Tyree Cobb?
Yeah, Eli Manning.
And where'd he go?
Went right here, Ole Miss.
Boom.
Where does Dad go?
For 20. I'm going to go with Ole Miss. Tyree, that's deep, way deep, and it goes off the backboard.
And no need. You got to look at Davis.
Good pass. Vanderbilt for the flush underneath for Washington. With it.
Yeah, he did, and nobody's cutting in the middle of the zone for Kentucky. If they do, they'll get a bucket. Instead, they get a bad shot.
Gabriel tips it, and that worked out well. PJ.
Man, Reggie Lewis. Oh, Ezekiel, Malik Sealy. These 2 guys passed away way too early. Man, oh man, did they play. I was just talking to Lavelle Jordan today, the coach at Butler. They're playing in the Louis Carnesecca Center.
Oh, great job by Gilgeous. Well, he's just bought into his role. He just is like, hey, you know what? I'm going to rebound more than anybody else, and he's manufactured offense. Look at that. Wow, P.J. Washington skies for the jam. Follow-up, but he should have made the first one.
Yeah, but then he can't pad his stats and add offensive rebounds.
It's not about that. It's about trying to win a basketball game on the road right now. And Missouri's got to be more efficient in how they are playing.
P.J. Washington gets into the paint. Power dribbling bucket.
It's an impressive season for Cassius Robertson, right? I mean, it's far exceeding the normal expectations of a graduate transfer that has come from a smaller college and joined the big stage.
He was second team All-Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference last year with Canisius. He wasn't even the star on his team. He was the star on his team.
Barford on the run.
And he made that one a little bit too hard.
P.J. Washington now. Much needed.
And freedom. They like to create tempo. They want to get the ball up and down the floor. And when they're able to execute, and we saw that early in this game, it's really dangerous.
How about that? Now a 10-2. Gives Arkansas the lead back after Kentucky took it on a 7-0 run for their first lead of the day. There's the Kentucky resume as it stands, Sean.
The quality of wins, not necessarily what you're accustomed to seeing for Kentucky, but that is in large part because of the strength of this conference.
When you talk about this conference, keep in mind the SEC got a slap at it. Kentucky got it back. Richards. And underneath, a really nice job by Pete. That was sloppy. Washington secures it, and then on the go, finishes in the foul. This game compared to what we just saw there was Barford and Macon giving them that 11-zip lead early on with 3 3-pointers, and then Kentucky settled down, chipped away, and then really pulled away consistently for most of the second half to feed that time to P.J. Washington.
In the first 7 seconds of the shot clock. Gilgeous-Alexander getting separation, can't finish, but there's the putback by Washington. 1990. It's a lot of fun post games, I can tell you that. As he said, I haven't had too many situations like this. Everyone adjusting here in Kentucky. Washington gets position and scores. All with 6 points and 4 rebounds so far today. Coming off a career-high 20 on Tuesday. Washington connects. They revolved around stopping dribble penetration. Colin Sexton's had all kinds of trouble just trying to get into the lane. Washington counted in the foul. Here's Knox, deep 3, short. Tip right to Green, and another fresh 30 for the Wildcats. This offensive rebounding has been brutal on Alabama. 19 offensive rebounds for Kentucky, 12 this half. Washington down low, lays it in. There's a throw into the post for Washington. Second effort and elevation.
Offense, Mustafa Heron is really struggling. He's 1 for 7. I think he's their most talented offensive player, not so far this evening.
Here's Knox, lobbing it for Washington.
Same action, coach. Baseline runner. It's a heck of a face.
Here's Knox. Vanderbilt with the length and the assist to Washington.
That's just being taller.
When he tries.
I don't know whether you jinxed him by saying 17 and 19 or by saying I don't want to jinx him.
He's an 81% free thrower.
There you go. Green to Washington.
That was too
do it.
easy.
UK.
John Calipari's just going to sit down.
Kenny Payne next to him. Sat down a while ago.
Washington scores.
Where they want to be on the defensive end. They're not pressuring as much as they'd like because they're not that deep.
Right. And he loves toughness, too.
Gilgeous-Alexander gets it inside. Washington on the turnaround. Nice touch. Power gets it in. Gilgeous-Alexander handles it for Kentucky.
And someone out, you might be able to get an offensive rebound.
The drive bounces inside. Tough pass to
His own follow, PJ. Remember, Vandy is just 1-50 in their history against a ranked Kentucky team playing here in Lexington. A little oopage from PJ.
A couple of games. Didn't play him at all for a couple of games about 10 days ago.
I'm sorry, what? Point well taken.
Well, they call him Teddy Buckets. Went to Boys Town High School in Nebraska. Hey, what time you do back in Boys Town?
Washington banks it home.
Valuing the basketball going to be very key for the Bulldogs.
Ben Howland was very proud of the way they fought back against Alabama, but that is a tough loss considering how hard they fought to get in position. They had that game right there with 6 minutes to play. And there is Washington on the
9 second chance points already, 0 for Kentucky.
5 offensive rebounds for Mississippi State.
And that was an area Ben Howland said, look, usually we might not send 3 to the offensive glass, but given the fact that Kentucky has struggled there, we're going to take 3. We're going to attack the offensive glass and try to score.
Washington helps now when he was questioned about recruiting and the status of Kentucky as a program in terms of developing talent. And you'll understand the stress on billions from John Calipari. He'd make Paul Giamatti proud. Washington turns and puts it in.
Tess, I'm telling you, trying to set up his teammate there and found the kick out to the corner for Wayne Gabriel.
Washington taking it strong. Do deny the first attempt, and then the extra effort helps. A team that we forget is still gelling because of how many missing pieces in recent weeks. Here comes Vanderbilt on the go, up ahead to Hami. As they will settle things down, up by 1.
Washington brings it. PJ.
A settled three-point shot that was completely unnecessary by Carter.
Washington, big night out of PJ Washington.
That's what makes such an interesting matchup. Rivalry and history between them aside, how different the two teams line up and how differently they need to do things well to win basketball games. Washington gets the bounce. Just 2 knees in various ailments and injuries this year. Boy, one that Hayes wishes he had back.
Boy, what a beautiful pass by Chris Chioza. And Hayes with a shot fake, but just couldn't finish.
Jay, where does the spark come from offensively for Kentucky?
Well, it's got to come. They've got to move the ball. It's got to come from a number of different places. I mean, I think the best offensive player right on the court right now is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander,
who finds P.J. Washington
with a hand in his face. That was well defended. And right on cue, calling him the MVP for Florida. I think he is deserving of some soft serve ice cream.
Washington, power move inside. And court.
Those Vanderbilt's running the point guard position right now for Kentucky.
Washington in the lane. Nice work to get it to go.
Hardwood. It's a backup tight end in SEC football action.
Washington takes it to Kotsar and scores over.
These minutes, man, we're going to start early. Remember, we still play with our Quade Green. He's a guy that's going to step up for them. He's a veteran player.
7 misses in a row for Vanderbilt. They're getting their looks. From 3, they just can't make them. And there's a triple straight away.
They take the lead, baby. Vandy, is that the first time?
Their first lead since it was 6-4.
I knew you would know that. You're right on top of it.
I can feel the faith you have in me. Appreciate it.
I love working with you, buddy.
10 to shoot. Gilgeous-Alexander gives it up. And PJ.
An over and back. I don't think it was either. You have to be entirely in the front court for it to be considered an over and back if you pass it into the back court, and Davis wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't an over and back, but it looked like it was a walk.
Yeah. Gilgeous-Alexander behind the back, out to Washington.
The three is good. That ball away. Poor pass by Texas A&M. Yeah, if we're going to play that pocket square game, I can tell you who didn't pay for theirs.
Is the answer both of them?
Yeah, I think Seth Greenberg still got that $100 bill he got for high school graduation in his wallet untouched.
P.J. Washington.
Their guards come out with those high ball screens and spread them out and drive them. But you're right, Duke is giving up in 3 conference games. They've given up 93 points a game and close to 50% from 3. So a lot to figure out on the defensive end for one of the most talented teams, if not the most talented in the country.
Huge change in the rankings this week. And they came strong drive there by Hode,
and it's available. You know, with his shooting ability, and you can see he's struggling getting down the floor, but with his shooting ability, he should be able to get much more off the drive.
And the lead grows to 6 now for A&M. That's their largest lead of the game.
So John Calipari's been talking to his team about getting tougher, and part of the way you show toughness is when you get punched, you make a strong play on the other end and score. And that's it. P.J. Washington knockouts are a big play. That was a big rebound by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander off the miss.
And some big misses for the Aggies. He's had a really strong night, Gilgeous-Alexander, playing practically the entire game. 5 to shoot. Washington sees it and scores.
Bowden in the paint. You mentioned the logo being a key, or you will at least, and that time Tennessee able to get it in there. P.J. Washington, and one. Home against Kentucky one other time. They'd match that with a victory tonight. Cats takeaway, Gilgeous-Alexander.
I like the patience and the poise that you're seeing out of Kentucky. They look to run when they have it. If not, they're going to grind it out. John Calipari talked to his team about it as well, slowing down the pace of this game in the half court, trying to find the guy you want to score. And right now, there's nobody else that miss. Andy Kennedy, by the way, 100 SEC wins now.
Oh, how about that? Congrats, AK. Wildcats have made each of their last 2 field goals. That qualifies as a run in this defensive battle here early on. Washington with the reverse.
Straight to the block, and there was no talking or pushing through the zone defense that time.
Washington's been the go-to man. And why not? A chance for a 3. Perfect from the charity stripe. Deontay Mayton went off again.
26 and 11 for Mayton. How about this? They held Alabama to 17% shooting from beyond the arc and sub 30% from the field, plus 18 on the glass.
Well, the flu bug's going around the entire country, including this league. Dejon Ingram missed that game for Alabama. They were down to 1 score, and that was Sexton. There's Washington. Washington guarded by Williams. Got him in the face, and one coming. Knox comes out of there with it. Numbers for Kentucky. Diallo, no. And the follow by P.J. Washington is able to convert inside. He's already above his season average. He's got a baker's dozen here.
Raith is having him a game. He's staying with it. Strong finish. Sims should have finished that play, but a teammate picked him up.
Washington trying to drive, able to finish in the paint.
Just has not been able to make shots, so maybe that one gets him going.
Looking for Knox down low. There comes a double, and he's able to find Washington for the high percentage look. LSU back in front.
Tell you what, and it's a battle of big guys, right? We thought it'd be the guards, but inside, it's now becoming who can stop each other in the paint.
Knocks in the elbow, high-low, and a slam for Washington. Team now. matchup 2-3 zone. Again, a one-hand slam. It's a 2-point game.
Sampson's game is up and down, being athletic and finishing.
LSU gambled with the reach. Washington paid by May. Skylar May steps through. No finish. Numbers the other way. P.J. Washington cherry picking. And it'll be a block and foul, and they'll count the bucket. Swing it back, put it down. Throw it back. Washington foul for Georgia.
And then Kevin Knox comes back down, lunges and reaches, tries to go for a steal, and leaves Hammonds wide open and allows him to finish.
What did we talk about earlier? What did John Calipari say to Knox? Shoot around today. Focus on your defense.
The defensive rebounding, you're going to be fine offensively. Don't worry about it. But that's not the case right now.
Green. 8 to shoot for Kentucky. Washington gets into the lane, and he can
create that pressure off their guards.
Well, now you don't have the point guard Jackson, probably for a long time with the 4 fouls. Parker is out of the game. Jordan Harris is checked in for Georgia.
Disadvantage Washington here.
Over Mike Edwards. Certainly is.
It's all attributable to not great offense, but excellent defense by Kentucky.
David Padgett, their 32-year-old rookie coach, just trying to weather the storm with his young Cardinals.
And they ran the dive to the box for an ISO. Power, there you go. That's what you got to do.
And what a future he's got in front of him. 12-point Kentucky.
They're in their little mix-up here. Zone. Big thing is if we miss, Kentucky's got an opportunity to rebound.
Walters Alexander into the corner. This is Washington. Attacks and lays it up in. How about that basket that the Cardinals needed badly?
Well, he can really jump out at you, Spalding.
Final non-conference game for Louisville. At the end of the day, having won 6 straight, but by far, clearly their biggest threat to the season. And speaking, third youngest head coach in all of Division I. Wasn't named the interim until September the 29th.
And by the way, it's not the same way as you lose games that you handle it.
Ball knocked around, and that's Washington. Curtis Alexander, no. And it's tipped up and in by...
Asked Aaron, are you going to go in his locker and leave him a note or anything? He said, no, I think I'll wait till Christmas.
That'll be his present. Green missed the baseline jumper, but they're going to miss that one. Long stretch, and that's not good news. The Kentucky team is going to remain in the top 10 in the country. All the way, and that's a good drive by P.J. Diallo.
Hamilton has done a terrific job after losing those guys to the NBA.
This Virginia Tech team, they're deep. They've got 10 players. They can all shoot. They're athletic. They're fast as they drop into the zone now for the first time today.
Yeah, they're in the zone trying to close off the interior.
And the turnaround will go for P.J. Washington. Look out. Clark didn't see the pass coming. Had his back turned.
Made the difference right there.
Over the top to Washington, and Kentucky.
Exactly. All those factors have been big to get Kentucky where they're at.
From down 6 at halftime to up 2 right now. To up 5 right now. Knox might have gotten away with a walk. Absolutely. Follow for Washington.
The other way with a little high step. Nick Richards, and another opportunity. It's Washington with his first 2 from the Marlins and his 59 home runs.
Wow.
And so Aaron Boone is going to join us here at the table out of the next commercial break, and we'll get the very latest from the Yankees in this experience. Sarr misfires, excuse me, on the second. George Pappas has also come into the game for Monmouth. He's another one of the freshmen. P.J. Washington with a chance for 3.
Julius Randle played for the Wildcats. I called one of their games in Lexington, and I went to Cal afterwards. I was like, Cal, why don't you just put him in the post? Because there's no one in the country that can guard him. Oh, my goodness. Talking about...
The freshman from Mitchellville, Maryland, with 8.
King Rice is really excited about his future. He feels like he's the best freshman that he has out there. He's got a quick release on that J. 17 points was the leading scorer against Seton Hall.
Washington, after a rare miss.
Oh, little scoop, but it wouldn't go down for Aiken. Yeah, transition's been pretty crucial for Kentucky. Nice move.
Out of here. And he's just not your typical mid-major guy who can block shots. He was first in the nation in blocks 2 years ago, 5th in the nation last year. DJ Washington. Diassi has 5. It's a 36-20 UK lead. Coming in ranked 8th in the country. Washington, soft touch before he went off to college, but a couple of years was here in the Commonwealth. There's the bounce pass for PJ. Thought about it, pulled the trigger. That's his first miss from three-point range for PJ Washington. I imagine they'll have something to say about the Tennessee head coaching job, which at last check is still undecided. PJ Washington, for a better term, how to run through the finish line, not just to the finish line.
He's been notorious for really not putting walk-ons and guys at the end of the bench on until the last minute or so. And these are great practice reps for the team. It's not about... If you have any type of opening, you have to let it fly.
Anthony Carl in for Fort Wayne. Feed inside to Washington. Catches it low over the rim with the left hand.
Of a bad defensive play.
Bryson Scott's got 17. Talking about SEC teams. Got some teams in Maui, down the Bahamas. Again to the elbow. Loose ball, corralled by Kentucky. Easy look, PJ Washington. Win that Big 12 title, their 14th in a row, which is incredible. Parsons made one deep ball tonight. He's missed a couple. He's a key for this Troy team. Their all-time leading scorer in Division I. Right down the gap is PJ Washington.
Yeah, we'll see how long that lasts.
Kevin Knox misses the three-point attempt. Washington the offensive glass and the jam by Burrell. Way off the mark. Diallo ahead to Washington. A little bumping inside, and Washington with the finger roll. Big sweeping hook shot in the jam from Washington.
Yeah, they're going to fight. They're not afraid of this moment.
And PJ Jerkin, that'll improve the field goal percentage as Jerkin slams it home.
That's the tough thing for East Tennessee, because they're going to live by the 3, you can die by the 3. So it was change his defense up to try to get some easy opportunities.
And the Cats are now 0 for 8 at the foul line tonight. Washington, however,
one job for Cam Ward, that shoot the basketball every time you get it. How do you like to have that job description if you're a college basketball player?
Sign me up.
I know Kentucky has the lead, but the warning signs right now, Vermont having the ability to drive that basketball about any time they want. They're getting good looks.
Washington gets the roll. And the
Catamount family is terrific in so many ways. They do things right is the best way to describe it.
Now coming out of the timeout, Vermont got the shot it wanted. Anthony Lamb, though, misfired.
Kentucky already dominating the boards like they should every game. There's no excuse for them to be out-rebounded by Morehead State and Utah Valley so far this season.
One of those games, of course, an exhibition. The other, the open.
Last name because of the two brothers, and they can both do that. They can both really shoot the basketball.
Well, Everett is a redshirt sophomore, earning a redshirt junior, both in the starting lineup tonight. Terrific gather and lay-in. Looks like he's getting around fine. Washington absorbs the contact. The follow is good.
That is
Kentucky, they got out-rebounded by Utah Valley. That's just simply unacceptable.
Shouldn't happen. No, should not happen. Not with this type of size. Something I'm sure Coach Cal talked a lot about the last 24 hours.
Washington on the
team come March. I believe when those brackets come out.
This Vermont team rattled off 21 straight wins during the heart of last season. 3 of their 6 losses for the year were against Sweet 16 teams, including South Carolina, which of course went out of the Final Four. Washington, nice looking turnaround. Just past the midpoint here in the second half. Washington playing a little more bully ball inside.
The brother who reclassified to play with him this season.
Randolph, the teardrop doesn't go. Knox clears. Great look up ahead to Washington. Big man.